in my Lego kingdom. It is a day of great rejoicing in the kingdom. A kingdom that is protected on the north by ocean and south by mountains. Mindful of the threats from east and west, King Cuthbert had ordered the building of a new and bigger castle so that both east and west would be protected from the growing threat of the Dragon Emperor. And now, after the tireless work of hundreds of engineers and craftsmen, it is a day of celebration in the land, for the new castle has been completed and is even now making the kingdom a safer place. Now, on this happy day, King Cuthbert orders his troops in all their splendor to the parade ground. Black falcons, Lion's Knights, their allies, the elves, druids, dwarves, rangers, and forestmen, all turn out in a tremendous display of force, all the while being cheered on by the citizens on this happy day. The new castle is state-of-the-art. Protective gates, high ramparts, splendid interior comforts. Just the sight of it, the flags flying above, puts the citizenry at ease. But even in the midst of this happy event, King Cuthbert has not lost sight of the threat of the Emperor Dragon. And he has yet to even find out about the rising of the vampire known as the Old One. Will the new castle be enough to protect the kingdom from these growing threats? The answer lies in the future. Tune in again next time and see for yourself. Hi, I'm Tom Bray since 1954. Welcome back. It's not only a day of great rejoicing in my Lego kingdom, but also for me personally, because I have finally finished this magnificent castle, this Lion Knight's castle, and I have to tell you, it's spectacular. I'm so glad that I stuck with it. It took me a long time to build, and I think I've mentioned this in previous YouTube videos, just that I found it slow going at times. And it could be because of my age. There could be many factors involved, and I'll talk about them a little bit in this video. I also want to talk about what a great build this was and what fun I had building it, and just some of the features of this castle. But I want to talk about it also from the point of view of me as a senior builder of Lego, for those of you who might be senior builders and interested in how this was to build, and also as a grandparent investor. You've heard me talk about that concept. I'm buying sets that not only appeal to me, but will someday appeal to my granddaughter. And I want to talk about this one in that context as well. But first, let me say a few words about what this was like for me as a senior builder, just my perspective, and why I found this so slow going and why you might experience the same thing. First of all, it could be my age, but I found that there were certain aspects of this build that were a little bit fiddly for me and frustrated me. One of the aspects was the thatched roof. I found it extremely difficult to build, and I found myself having to dismantle it and rebuild it a couple of times before I got it right. Now, that's totally my fault, and it's also good for me. I mean, this is the whole point of why myself as a senior like to build Lego, because it stimulates my brain and it makes me solve problems and look at a book of instructions and translate, those elevations into, full-fledged Lego model. Also, I think the huge amount of gray bricks in this build, I mean, it's a castle, it's going to be gray, but just the sea of gray bricks got tedious a little bit to me. And I found that if I put it down for a day or so and then tried to pick it back up, I sometimes was lost as to where I was, even when I tried to keep track. It was difficult to discover exactly where I was in the build because there were just so many gray bricks that I found myself wondering if I had picked the right spot to come back in, and that slowed me down. But none of these things ultimately mattered, because the difficulties far were exceeded by just the splendor of this magnificent build. And I would gladly go through these difficulties again if Lego put out a set that it was as magnificent as this one is. Now, I know that we're likely not to have another castle set for a good long while that is of this magnitude from the regular issue Lego sets. Now the Bricklink sets, that's an entirely different program. And I've made a decision as a builder, as a senior builder, not to participate in those Bricklink programs. I really am buying sets that are going to be suitable for my granddaughter to build sooner rather than later. And those Bricklink sets are clearly for adults. This particular set, this gigantic, wonderful castle, is also, aimed at an adult market. It took me months to build because I kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping. I bought it because even though it'll be a while before my granddaughter ever gets to enjoy it, I knew that I would enjoy it. And so this is one of those sets that I just had to have for me. But I don't think it's out of bounds to be part of my, grandparent Lego collection for my granddaughter. There are lots of other things and sets that I've purchased and built that I think she'll be able to enjoy sooner than later. And also, I have a stash of Duplo put away for the time when she turns 1.5, and we'll be able to start playing with those sets, and then we work our way up. That's my scheme. So that's from the point of view of a senior builder and a grandparent investor. Let's take a look at this fantastic set, though, closer. First of all, as you can see, it's just magnificent. If you spread this set out, kind of lengthwise, it's almost a yard wide. I mean, it's just spectacular. It comes apart in two sections and can be put together, or it can be displayed apart in two sections. And both of those sections accordion out, so they open up. Here's some of the features that I really love, and you can see them on the outside before I take you inside. I really, really adore the entrance to the castle. There's a drawbridge that goes up and down, which is, spectacular, and it's a similar design to the 3-in-1 castle. But what this has that the 3-in-1 castle doesn't have is that security kind of gate that can come slamming down. The other thing I really love about the exterior of this is I just love the way the ramparts are designed. I love the slits in the side of the walls for the archers. I also love the fact that there are many, many locations on this build that you can place minifigs. Now let me take you inside just to show you a bit of the splendor of the build inside. As you can see, there are many, many rooms inside that are very cleverly built out with lots of little bits. Here are some of my favorite rooms in particular. The water wheel that grinds flour inside of the building is just really spectacularly designed. And I love the armory rooms, just wonderful with the shields and the weapons. Just a spectacular concept. Here are some other rooms. I think my favorite feature of this entire castle build is on the exterior, on one of the walls, behind kind of a rock build, there is a secret hideaway for the forestmen. And I just think that's so cool. So I'd like to hear from you. Have you added this castle to your fantasy kingdom? Are you planning on adding it? Is it a set you're going to overlook? I know it's been out a while, and I think it retires at the end of this year, so there's still time to get it. Not all Lego stores have it. When they do have it in stock, it tends to go quickly. And online, I think there's a backlog right now of a couple of months before you can get it. But it hasn't retired yet. It's available. And if you're going to buy it, you probably should buy it soon before it entirely vanishes. Again, I don't know when we're going to get another castle that's so spectacular as this out of the regular Lego lineup. And since I've decided that I'm only going to buy stuff out of the regular lineup, of course I had to have this. But again, what about you? Have you added it? What do you think of it? Have you modified it in any way? Let me know in the comments because I'm always interested in what you have to say. And I thank you so much again for your support. And I have a Pick-a-Brick order coming. I'm excited about that. We'll be talking about that next time. Happy building.